The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Widely acclaimed novel of our generation, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents David Lean's film of Boris Pasternak's Doctor Zhivago. The spectacle of armies changing history. The epic of a grand romantic age giving way to a new and violent order. The drama of young lovers. Far from the bitter guns of war. Silent. This is Doctor Zhivago. Geraldine Chaplin as Tonya. Tender child, delicate woman, loving wife of Zhivago.
I have a very delightful announcement to make. Now listen, please. Dr. Zhivago is betrothed in marriage to...
Julie Christie as Lara, the violent, sensual, sensitive girl. Zhivago's great love and mistress. Tom Courtenay as Laura's husband, Pasha, the dedicated young revolutionary leader. Alec Guinness, as Zhivago's mysterious half-brother, Yevgraf. Siobhan McKenna and Ralph Richardson as Zhivago's adopted parents. Rod Steiger as Komarovsky, Lara's tormentor, a man of power, lust, and anguish. Rita Tushingham as the girl. Her past is the key to their story. And Omar Sharif as Zhivago, a man of peace, forced into war. A man who loved deeply, tenderly, passionately. Zhivago. A man in love with life. This is Doctor Zhivago, winner of 6 Academy Awards. The might of war. The majesty of love. The monumental motion picture of our time. Doctor Zhivago.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema. I'm your host Jimbo, and today I'm joined by...
co-host, not a not someone else, but it's Kyle. It's someone else would be, I don't know. Like
Kyle was trying
Terry
to be
Strawback. I was thinking of a funny joke, but then it's like, no, it's not going to land.
I was waiting for you to go into your Russian voice, but I was like, this is not going to be fun.
I eat potatoes. I don't know.
Today, this is episode 115, and we'll be talking about the epic film Doctor Zhivago.
Dr. Zhivago.
Kyle and I have been talking about this on Messenger and things, and it's just a very, I don't want to say disturbing, unsettling maybe I would say. It makes you think a lot. This movie is just, it's really deep and impactful. So I'm not going to give Kyle a question this week because even though we try to be lighthearted and fun on this podcast, sometimes a movie comes along where it's just really nothing to joke about, and it's just very hard to do, even though Kyle will probably say something at some point.
Oh yeah, I'll always say something inappropriate, I'm sure. But yeah, no, there is a bit of a kind of a ceaseless and unrelenting harshness to the world depicted in Doctor Zhivago, and based off real life historical events, obviously, and the struggles many people did have to face to some degree or another. And we will try to handle that with tact.
Right. I remember when I had started watching it, and like the first 20 minutes of the film, I told Kyle, I said, I've already seen a death, a rape, and incest, and something else. And I was like, I don't know I don't even know what to say at this point. Yeah. But I'm glad I stuck it out because it's actually not a bad movie if you sit down and watch it all. It's 3 hours and 19 minutes long. I do know that much, and has some great musical scores. But this is an epic movie along the lines of like Ben-Hur, Gone with the Wind, where you have your entrance and the overture, and then you have a small intermission and like that. So just be prepared if you're going to watch it. You're going to want to sit down a chunk of time or several days to take it all in because it is a rough movie at some certain points. Yeah,
well, I don't feel like you're going for like the Lawrence of Arabia vibe, simply about having a war conflict and having a very long timeline of covering that entire story. In this case, here, basically the entire life of Doctor Zhivago from an early man to his eventual death. It's
not just a war and a revolution of military proportions, but also a war in his own personal love life, if you will.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Kyle, I think we've rattled on long enough. Let's go ahead and take it away so we can get this on the road.
All right, let's get it going here. We have Doctor Zhivago, released in 1965, directed by David Lean, written by Boris Pasternak from the original Navi, and from the original novel, not Navi, and the screenplay was adapted by Robert Bolt, produced by Carlo Ponte, composed by Maurice Jarre. Jerry, I believe it's Maurice Jarre. I'm not sure if I'm not saying it right. Cinematographer was Freddie Young. Editor was Norman Savage. And additional production designer was John Box. For a brief plot summary here, we have during the Russian Revolution, Dr. Yuri Zhivago, played by Omar Sharif, is a young doctor who is raised by his aunt and uncle following his father's suicide. Yuri falls in love with a beautiful Laura Gushner, who has been having an affair with her mother's lover, Victor Komarovsky, played by Rod Steger, I believe it's Rod Steger, an unscrupulous businessman. Yuri, however, ends up marrying his cousin Tonya, played by Gwendolyn Chaplin, but when he and Laura meet again years later, the sparks of love reignites.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When you first meet Rod Steiger and Tanya, remember when he's like, well, how old are you? What put this on your head? Whatever. And did you get this feeling that the first time it was rape and not an affair?
Rape. I
don't want to say rape, but
the terminology. Well, the terminology is non-consensual, even if she believes she consents, because it's already. I believe she's 16 or 17. So, like by today's standards, we'd call it grooming or something like that too, or emotional manipulation, like to get a younger woman in his life. And because he is one of the, he's a higher class businessman, a wealthy aristocrat from the before the Russian Revolution, he feels he's entitled to anything he wants, basically like that.
Right, but I think because you say an affair, and I don't think it started off that way, but I think it ended that way where she didn't really deny it either. You know what I mean?
There's definitely, I mean, going through the long term, I think they call it an affair, but during the initial time, you would call it a rape. But it's clear that they have had, there's been added complexity over the years of that generation where, like he's at times tried to do the right thing and failed, or did different immoral things that create complexity to his character. Like nothing's entirely black and white in the story. Even the most evil people have moments that are them trying to help someone else, and like even if you do condemn them, still there's still aspects like it's undeniable he cared to some degree in his own sick and perverted way. So,
and was that her stepdad?
Yes, I believe it was. That's what
I didn't know. I didn't know if they were.
Well,
married.
He said it doesn't say they were ever married, but her mother's lover.
Right.
So that's So playing the role of her stepdad, and then later, taking advantage of this young woman. So definitely gross.
Well, there's Kyle's.
It's really gross. I don't like it.
Yeah, because he's looking
Kyle's
like
opinion is
48
it really bothers
50.
me. Yeah. Really deep opinion of that there. Anyways, moving on here. We have the budget for the film, which was just $11 million in 1965. Gross worldwide was $111 million. $111.9 million, so almost 112 there.
With inflation today, that's gonna be an astronomical number,
about 10 times what it's worth now, easily. Closer to, think more of a budget along $110 million, which even now, like, that's incredibly impressive for the amount of movie they produced. That's another thing that kind of baffles me sometimes, just seeing, like, even the budgets of today, even just for inflation, like, they got a lot done for that kind of money, versus now where it's like, we put $500 million into this, and we got 20 seconds of really cool CG.
Yeah.
it's like, okay, cool. And the gross worldwide, of course, also kind of goes up to, like, closer to 10 million, 10 times that amount almost, or easily double. Kind of a huge disparity there. Anyways, moving on here, I'm going to head on to the awards for Doctor Zhivago. For Doctor Zhivago here, we have, we're going to start with the most recent award, actually. In 2016, it won the Online Film and Television Association's award for the Film Hall of Fame back in 2016. And then in 1988, it won the People Choices Award for Favorite All-Time Motion Picture Song for the song My Love, or Laura's Theme. In 1967, it also won the David D. Donatello Awards for Best Foreign Director, related to David Lean. Best Foreign Actors, related to Julia Christie. And Best Foreign Production, rewarded to Carlo Ponte. And then in 1967, we also have the Golden Screen Award in Germany, where it won that award. It won a Grammy for Best Original Score written for a motion picture or television show. In 1966, it won the Academy Award for Best Cinematography in Color, Best Writing, or for a screenplay based on material from another medium, Best Music and Score, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, was related to Tom Courtenay. Then going forward here, it also won the award for Best Art Direction and Set Direction Color, and it was also won the Oscar for Best Costume Design. Moving on here to the British Society of Cinematographers in 1966, it won the Best Cinematography Award, awarded to Freddie Young. Then in 1966 again, we have the Golden Globes Award here, where it won Best Actor to Omar Sharif, Best Director to David Lean, Best Original Score, Best Screenplay, and Best Motion Picture for the Golden Globe Awards. And in 1966 also won the Laurel Awards for Best Drama. In 1966, it also had the National Board of Review Awards for Top 10 Films and Best Actress, rewarded to Julia Christie. And that is the awards I could get for Doctor Zhivago.
Well, I'm sure there's a ton
There's
more.
a ton of other nominations and further awards I kind of had down the list here, but just can't cover quite all of them there because they're lesser known awards or like actually just like the general page cut off there. So a lot of other.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
The page cut off.
The page cut off. Makes a lot more sense. It's okay. But no, I was here for a long time. Went through like trying to find every single award I ever got. Like someone called it the best award of all time.
If you could give it one award, Kyle, or you think there was one award that it was deserving of, what would it be?
One
personally. Quit looking at the notes and just tell me what your thoughts are.
The common awards it was getting, I would probably give it best original score for sure. I mean, I think the musical, the musical performances in each and every single like scene going forward, and like the consistency of the film adds to the depth of the entire narrative overall. Like Laura's theme, especially having that song repeatedly go back and forth, kind of adds to the moments of the precious moments of hope you have in that world, that they might see a better day in the future. And how difficult it is to have, and without that, you kind of have a overwhelmingly depressing film that no one would ever want to watch. Where with the score specifically, you can actually appreciate what the film is. So, no Pacific War, I'm like, oh, it definitely needs the Oscar award for this. But if there's one award it gets, it has to be for its score. I think.
I think if I was giving it one, I think it would be for best cinematography, and I'll tell you why. There was two scenes that stick out in my mind, just from the cinema. One of them is where Laura and I think it's her. What's the guy's name that gets the cut down the side? Her fiance.
Yeah, fiance. That was
Pasha. Is it Pasha?
Yes, Pasha. Tom Personet's character.
So where this is where she finds out that, or he finds out that he had written a letter, or she had written a letter explaining her affair and all that. That's after she went and tried to kill him. Remember at the Christmas party. And she's up in the window, and there's she's sitting there and she's telling him, and he breaks down, and there's like a candle in the window, and as it fades back, you see
Parrish. Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah, Zhivago and his wife, or fiance, I guess at that time, in the sleigh. You know what I mean? And that candle, it fades down. So that's one. It was really well done. But the second one is when he's over in the medical field, and he runs into Laura, and she's ironing or something, and this is where he says, just stay with me, we won't go back or whatever. And if you watch that scene, he's in the shadows, like his whole face is like dark, and you just see like his eyes, it's really dark, and you can see it's like a dark time for him. I think it's very interesting and well done, and I think it's shot that way to show how he was feeling at the time, and not just
the emotional turmoil.
It was
fate,
amazingly shot. So
all those kind of things. Yeah.
Those are the two that I would give it for. So
yeah, no, I agree. It's an incredibly impressive film. If it wasn't the subject matter makes it difficult to watch, but it also is
impressive. Kyle watched it twice.
Yeah, I did. I watched it twice, and I still feel like I don't know what I'm going to say about this film.
We talked about this forever.
There's a lot of it, and it's really deep. But I mean, it's also just.
And I don't know if we can actually get to the bottom of the whole movie as we're covering it either, because it's just so epic.
Yeah,
I guess is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I would have an easier time drinking an ocean than I would explaining all Doctor Zhivago.
Counting the sands on the shore.
Exactly. Moving on, we have a little bit of the technical details of the film. We have a runtime of 197 minutes,
and it's a long one,
and you feel it because and you basically see. I mean, the bulk of entirety of Doctor Zhivago and Laura's life. Basically the entire film, and you just kind of feel the overwhelming journey they kind of went on. So it's definitely you get like 40 minutes in, you're like, this is still the beginning. What's happening here? Or you're an hour and a half in, and you realize like, wait, I've watched 2 films already.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes in, and Zhivago hasn't even talked to Laura yet. And you're like,
yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Yeah, because you kind of feel lost. Just like, what is now? Now if you were going to try something like this, like you would do a mini series. You wouldn't even try to do a movie like this.
Actually, I think in 2002 they redid this. I think it was on British TV. A miniseries.
As a miniseries.
And they added some stuff in there that was missing from the film that was in the book. So I think it's pretty interesting.
That would have been incredible.
Okay, Kyle, I want you to report back after you watch the miniseries.
I'm going to go track that down. What would you say? Was it Britain? Or
somewhere in British film, I think.
Find some
it's in the notes,
British VHS tapes and be like, I finally watched it, guys. I got through Doctor Zhivago.
For only $14.99 a month here, you got to get like 60 of them.
60 tapes. Yeah. They're all $100 a piece somehow because they're all rare. Lost media is so sad, guys. You find an old show. It's like, yeah. Like, you can't find WKRP in Cincinnati anymore.
That's how they used to come, though. You know what I mean? Here's volume 1. Well, it's only season 1, half of season 1. Or you know what I mean?
This is season 1A if you want season 1B.
Yeah.
We're trying to buy like anime in the 2000s theater or the late 90s. It's like, oh gosh, like you're gonna pay $40 for a tape. It's 2 episodes. What? Yes. We live in richer times for finding lost media, but it's still can be a challenge. I'm sure the British tapes are hard to come by too, or there's some bootleg on YouTube somewhere that we haven't found. But yeah, going on to once again the technical details. We're done with 197 minutes, over 3 hours long. Right at about 3 hours if you don't count the intermission and the overture. If you don't count those, then probably it's right about 3 hours. Sound mix. This is a 3-channel stereo by Westrex Recording Systems for 5.1 surround sound systems, I guess. Color info, color movie. Aspect ratio is 2.2 by 1. So a wide aspect ratio, very, very, very wide. And, typically you see 16 by 9 or 21 by 9 from most films. This film goes even further on that. And let's see here. Film length of 5,460 meters. Imagine just being like a projector, and like a projector, and like you just hate. You hate or you love it.
How would you like to be the editor, or the one that on the cutting room floor with all that footage, dude? It'd be terrible.
Mm-hmm. Like you come into work every day and you see like a wall of reels, and it's like, okay, we got to make this into a film. Like, what in the world do you even do? And then you try and tell the guy like, there should probably be 2 films separately, right? Like, no, it's gonna be 1 film. It's gonna be way too long. Like, oh, crazy. That's the other thing too. This could have been 2 films, and I still feel like I would have got my fill.
It pretty much could have been.
Yeah, I think there's a very real case where you probably could have found that cut where 2 films made sense. More refined release date here, we actually have December 22nd in 1965 was the official New York City premiere.
Speaking of that, the filming dates went from I got it over here. From December 20th of 1964 to October 7th of 1965.
Wow. So it's it makes sense for how big and ambitious this film was. Ooh, okay, moving on here. We finally have the last little part from my factoids here. We have the cast, which I'll be a little bit more brief on than because there are pages and pages of cast characters, so I'm just going to keep the main cast and move on from there and see how we go. So we have Omar Sharif playing Yuri. Omar Sharif, best known from such movies as Lawrence of Arabia in 1962, Funny Girl in 1968, and Hidalgo in 2004.
That was a great movie. Did you ever see Hidalgo with Viggo Mortensen about the horse?
I regret that I have not seen it. I need to watch more Viggo Mortensen films, honestly.
That's a really good movie.
Because he's a great actor, and everything he's in is cool, and I want to see more of him stuff. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen. I feel like I spaced out and I missed him as an actor, and I need to go back and watch everything he's ever did now because it's like no, these are all good. I just didn't watch his movies for some reason. Next up, we have Julia Christie playing Laura, basically basically the main character of the film, arguably with Doctor Zhivago, co-leads, if you will, in my opinion. I think
Laura.
Yeah, Laura
or Tanya.
I would say Laura.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
well, if you want to say Tanya,
you can't go wrong. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Tanya was the daughter, correct? I know it was not.
No, she was
the sister or the.
Yeah, she was his wife.
Okay. Yeah.
Laura
finding the relations of all these characters.
Laura was his mistress, if you will, the other woman.
His sister, wife, cousin.
What does that make us? Absolutely nothing. I caught him off guard.
Gosh.
Like I said,
this movie is dark and serious. We've got to find some opportunity to try and laugh at this.
Yeah, because if not, you just go down a rabbit hole that you won't be able to come out.
Yeah. And that was the last depressing 2 hours of a podcast. Thank you for listening. Yes. Okay. So Laura, Julia Christie was in such films as Fahrenheit 451 in 1966, Don't Look Now in 1973, and Darling in 1965. Next up, we have Gwendolyn Chaplin playing Tonya. She was in the films Talk to Her in 2002, Chaplin in 1992, and Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom in 2018. Very recently. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. She played I believe it was not a house servant seems like demeaning, but she's basically like the house servant in like the rich man's house, and who's basically like the curator of the next Jurassic Park, basically like that. Huh. Yeah, the guy who wanted like, oh, let's make
the one that had like the museum in his house.
Yeah, the museum in his house. Yeah. The guy was like, let's put a gun on a raptor. I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, don't do that. Don't put guns on raptors, folks. I never watched the latest movie. Did you watch that?
Yep.
You did? Was it good?
It was all right.
It was all right. I'll check it out sometime. All right.
Not really. I was just saying.
Just saying that. Move along, Kyle.
We'll have to. That's
Let's
a
get in
subject
depth
for
on the Jurassic World podcast.
That's a subject for a real talk.
A real talk someday. We'll get into the whole Jurassic Park anthology. Okay. Next up, we have Rod Steiger playing Komorovsky.
No, how to change your voice.
Komorovsky. I'm going to say that as the pronunciation. I'm going to try that. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot more times here to try and fail.
Yeah, you're probably going to slaughter a lot of these.
Yeah. Komorovsky, played by Rod Steiger. Rod Steiger was also in such films as In the Heat of the Night in 1967.
We just watched
In the Heat of the Night, earlier this year, I believe. Also A Fistful of Dynamite in 1971 and Waterloo in 1970. And next up, we have the legendary Al Guinness playing of Yves Graf. Al Guinness, of course, known as the OG Obi-Wan from the original Star Wars trilogy.
Help me, Dr. Zhivago, you're my only hope.
And, of course, the Bridge over River Kwai in 1957 as well. Al Guinness, of course, legendary actor, and it was Lawrence of Arabia as well. He was in that as well in 1962. Next up, we have Tom Courtenay playing Pasha, the Russian, the ultimate communist soldier, basically.
Which is very interesting. Well, he's not but he was the one that was wanting the revolution, right?
Yes.
And he ended up being like the
top guy.
Yeah, the head commander or whatever.
They kind of made him like the Rambo for a while in that world, or not? Well, no, he was the Rambo was disgraced by his own country. So, I'm trying to think. They made him like the top special ops man. We're going to give you a rogue train and you go around all of Russia solving problems, and it's like, what? He seemed all right, but I don't know if he was like the super spy when I saw him in the first scenes. But I guess that became.
Speaking of him, man, what about that scene where they attacked everybody? They were doing that march or whatever, and then he goes to the what's her name's house, Laura's house. And dude, he's got that cut straight down the side of his cheek, dude. Like how deep would you say that was? 8 inches at least.
Yeah.
Then he goes in there and he takes the iodine or whatever, just pours it on there.
And he just collapses out the whole thing.
She's like,
you are insane. Who? Yeah. Clearly that man not quite right in the head.
I was like, wow.
He had some very strong beliefs that went way beyond reasonable. It's you need to help yourself maybe sometimes too, man. You're not just an animal.
Well, not only that, but
he saw himself as a tool of revolution.
Rod Steiger's character was a Malowski or whatever his name is. Remember when Laura brings him to meet him at lunch or whatever, and he's sitting there and he's like, well, you want to marry her? What? Tell me your future plans or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, I'm going to be what did he say? Something in France or something. I don't remember. And she's like, and he's like, an instructor. I think he wanted to be a teacher. And he's like, well, that's not much of a salary, wealthy salary. He's like, it's enough. It'll be enough or whatever. And then he just gets up, good day, sir, or whatever. He walks out. Very interesting character.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot more people than I could read a lot more into him about his motivations and what he believed, because he's just he seemed to have this level of detachment from his own needs and of life.
There's two people he reminds me of. One is the inspector from Frankenstein with the hand, what I mean. And then I think that was Young Frankenstein. And then the guy from Indiana Jones, the one that gets the thing burned into his hands. Mm-hmm. He kind of looks like him too.
Yeah, definitely. Some of that imagery definitely kind of relates. I agree, and and it's very clear that just he was so detached himself from his own personal needs to any degree. People talk to him he eats bread and beans every single day. That's what he eats. Those kind of things. He was just a tool for the government that he now serves, and he doesn't care for love or anything else. All the others needs in his life, and it was actually very sad.
Yeah,
and even at the end, the end of his life is really sad too. So, interesting character for sure. I might watch this a third time again just to see if I get a greater depth of understanding of all these characters, because I still felt like I was just like in a lost haze of like boredom.
Yeah, but when you come in there cold turkey, I mean, you don't know what you're getting.
There's so many things like I feel like I need to read the historical context in the book itself, and then actually watch the movie again, and then get even more greater grasp. Like, oh, this is what they're talking about in this scene specifically.
Kyle, I'll see if I can find the Doctor Zhivago graphic novel for you, because I know reading's not your forte.
Exactly. I need. Can you give me a pop-up book where? Yeah, and this was the Russian Revolution from this perspective. Ah, okay, now I get it. Womp womp. No, next up we have C-Bomb McKinney playing Anna. She was in the film of King of Kings in 1961, and that's the only other film I have her listed in right there. I'm sure other films, but I don't have them on hand right here. Next up, we have Ralph Richardson playing Alexander. Ralph Richardson was in such films such as The Heiress in 1949, The Fallen Idol in 1948, and Women of Straw in 1964. And moving on here, we're just going to do a one movie per character thing here. We, of course, have Jeffrey Rockland playing Sasha. Jeffrey Rockland was actually best known for just this one movie right here in Doctor Zhivago. Could have been other movies, I don't know for sure. Then we have Tariq Sharif playing Yuri at 8 years old. Tariq Sharif was also in the movie Avalanche in 1994.
You know, that is Omar Sharif's son.
Omar Sharif's son. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. They have the last name.
No, but I mean, they cast him for that.
Specifically for that reason, because he would look alike, closer to, like, okay, you're going to play the young version of your dad. Like, yeah. That's smart. Yeah. And let's see here. We also have, gotta make sure I'm actually finding the right name characters here, because like here at moments where like you're like, this character's just called the Bolshevik. Like, oh, okay, that's I think that's more of a walk-on kind of name. Let's see here. We have Noel William playing Razin. He was in the film The Man Who Knew Too Much in 1956. And I think we're actually just gonna kind of cut the cast a little bit short right there, because I don't want to underrepresent or overrepresent these characters in the story, wherein I fail to remember exactly every single scene they were in. So I'm just going to cut the cast there. So that's going to be the cast of Doctor Zhivago. Whew.
Yeah, all right.
I'm feeling all right. We're covering this film one way or another.
Glad you made it through. Now let's get into the deep stuff.
Mm-hmm, the deeper stuff.
I think one of the coolest scenes of this film too is when they go to like the what was it, like the ice palace or whatever it is, where it's covered in ice, and you see like his mustache and everything's like frozen to his face. But most of the inside of that ice palace was made specifically formed wax. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it looked really cool.
Huh. I wonder how expensive that was just doing that.
I don't know.
Formed wax.
But this movie wasn't shown in Russia until 1994. Mm-hmm. So that's like almost 30 years.
Yeah, I can see the subject matter hitting a little too close to home.
Yeah. Critics tore this film apart upon its release. Newsweek commented about hack job sets and pallid photography. Director David Lean was so deeply affected that he swore he would never make another movie. Thanks in part to MGM's marketing campaign and strong word of mouth, this became the second highest grossing movie of 1965, only behind The Sound of Music. It received 10 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture and Director, and won 5 awards, giving Lean the confidence to continue making movies. His next movie, Ryan's Daughter, which I've never seen, received a poisonous reception from critics and bombed at the box office. Lean made his next film, A Passage to India, over 14 years later.
Oh, wow. 14 years. That's a long career of just being thrown out like, oh, this movie is terrible. I'll never make another movie again.
We talked about that. Rod Steiger, the guy with who was...
Rod Steiger was
the stepdad, I guess.
Komorowski.
Yeah, he was on set for 12 months filming. The movie was shot in Spain during the regime of General Francisco Franco. One day, while filming the scene with the crowd chanting the Marxist theme at 3 a.m., police showed up on set thinking a real revolution was taking place and insisted on staying until the scene was finished. The secret police supposedly surveyed the crowd as the extras sang the Internationale for a protest scene. So many extras pretended they didn't know the words. Of course, the extras have been rehearsing the singing of the Internationale before the scene was shot. Meanwhile, residents who lived nearby had awoken to the singing of it and mistakenly concluded that Franco had died or been overthrown. Some residents even popped champagne bottles in the mistaken honor rumor.
Wow.
Wow.
What else can you say? Just wow.
Hey, we're going to pop this champagne we've been saving for 112 years.
For this moment, yeah.
Well, put the cork back in. David Lean's first choice for the title role was Peter O'Toole, who declined, citing the grueling experience of making Lawrence of Arabia with Lean. There was created a rift between the two that was never fully healed.
Oh, that's sad.
Who was Rita Tushingham there, Kyle?
Rita Tushingham was, and let me take a look right here. Biting for time. I don't even see her in the cast list right here. Rita Tushingham. Yeah.
Oh, well, she filmed her part in only 2 weeks.
Filled her part in only 2 weeks' time. And I gotta say, I can't.
Was that the mother?
I think it may have been. Or was Yuri's mother possibly?
Well, I hope it didn't take 2 weeks to film that scene.
It was 2 weeks to film. Yeah, that was only one scene, so you're right. Probably took less than that. That's true. A more significant character that I also totally just basically forgot. Oh, jeez. I really do. Yeah, don't see her in the cast list at all. So, yeah.
Well, wow. Omar Sharif asked director David Lean to consider him for the role of Pasha. He was surprised when Lean actually offered him the title role. Here you go, Kyle. This sounds like a fact of yours. Most of the exteriors were completely built inside, making them interiors. So outside, inside.
It's living the dream right there. Like, right. What if I had all the benefits outside, but inside? Yeah.
When Laura slaps Victor, who slaps her back, Victor's slap was not in the script or discussed during filming. Rod Steiger did it only during filming, and Julie Christie's son reaction was genuine. Smack, smack! David Lean actually wanted Audrey Hepburn to play Tanya, but he was so impressed by Geraldine Chaplin's audition that he cast her on the spot.
That's a caster. That's basically unheard of. Even
look
now,
up that Rita Tushingham. That's bothering me.
Rita Tushingham. I'll look at right.
Yeah, I'm gonna see who that was. That's bothering me. Mm-hmm. Should have been on top of that. The film used thousands of extras, including Spanish soldiers and Finnish Sami, for the scenes in Siberia. The shooting exceeded the 10-month schedule because David Lean wanted to capture the different seasons. Filming took place during one of Spain's mildest winters, leading to delays and the need to use marble dust and plastic snow in height of summer.
Yeah. Rita Tushingham was cast as the girl. Oh, the girl from...
well, I'm glad we've...
Yeah, that girl.
What girl?
The girl from the start. The girl implied to be the daughter of Laura. The daughter of Laura. That's Rita Tushingham's character.
I guess we should back up and tell people...
The central conceit of the story is that
basically Alec Guinness has come to this, I don't want to say concentration camp, where, is it a mine? A dam? Something like that?
It is a worker facility, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find, basically, Dr. Zhivago's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not daughter, his niece. No,
because his brother's...
Huh?
He's trying to find his brother's daughter.
I don't think it was his daughter. Wasn't it Laura's daughter?
It was Laura's daughter, but Dr. Zhivago raised her as the father. That's why he saw her as a niece. So he was going to do that. I think the matter of who the parent actually is of some contestant, I think.
Well, that's where he's like, you know, because remember she said at the end of the movie, when he's got that book there and he's telling him, well, this is your father or whatever, or the man that you got separated from was actually the other guy. Was it Romanowski?
Yeah, it was Romanowski. He's got
that she got lost in the middle of the
when she got on the train and left. Yeah,
because she was only 8 years old. No, where she got in the city. Remember, that's how she got separated.
Oh, from Doctor Zhivago. Yes.
No. What? Kyle, did you not watch the movie?
What?
Okay, hang on. I'm pausing this so I can prove something to Kyle.
Okay.
All right, we're back. We just pulled up the movie, and I had to explain a whole little diagram to
and now we understand less.
Yeah, so now I think I need to watch it again. But anyway, so there's a lady, like we said, that is at this work camp, and Alec Guinness is there, and he's called her into his office. He's been on this search for this young lady, trying to find... I guess it would be his niece. He assumes, but basically, this turns out to be Laura's daughter, and she got lost when she was 8 years old. And he's asking her, like, "Look, who is your father? Is this your father? Is this your father?" And she's like, "Look, my father." She's like, "How did you get lost?" She said, "My father we were running. There was bombs going off, and there was people running in the streets. And she starts crying. She's like, and he let go of my hand. He let go of my hand. And he's like, that wasn't your father. He said, that was Kamenetsky.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is your father, which was Dr. Zhivago.
Dr. Zhivago.
The only problem with that is, if this is Laura's daughter, which she had before she met Zhivago.
Yeah.
And when Zhivago finally did meet up with her again after the war, and I think this girl was like, what, 6, 8, 8-ish? He's not her biological dad. They may have spoke so highly of him that she thought he was, they thought he was a bit. From what we can gather from this intel that we just watched, without watching the whole movie again, is that there comes a time when they come and they tell, they're at the Ice Palace, and Kamenetsky, sorry, and he said, look, I've got a safe passage for you guys to come with me to get away. We got...
Be somewhere safe,
right.
Hopefully, yeah.
So he takes Laura, and he takes the daughter, I think, was her name Tanya or something like that, I think.
I believe it is, yeah.
And he tells her, come on, I can get you out of here. And he goes, and he's like, I got to go upstairs and grab some bags and some stuff. So if you remember the scene, he runs upstairs, he looks out the window, and he watches the sleigh as it leaves, because I think he knows that he's not going to see him again at this point.
Yeah, he's certain of it.
So it's a very, just watching what we watched and trying to put it all together, it just makes me want to watch it again now, because now I don't want to say I'm confused, but I'm confused. Yeah. So maybe just watch the beginning.
I feel like I still haven't tied all of this quite together yet. Yeah.
So, wow. If that's true, then I just made a connection. Mm-hmm. But, so if somebody watches this, let me know what you think, or if you've seen it before, because that's very interesting. I need to go back and watch the beginning where it first starts, where he's looking for this lady, and then this end scene again. I can fill in the blanks in between. But he has that book there, and he's like, this is your father, and it's Zhivago. And I'm like, that's not Zhivago's daughter, because it doesn't ever say that Zhivago and, what's her head? Wait a minute. No?
You're putting the web together. I don't know where you're going with it yet. Okay.
Well, I'm saying, did Zhivago and Laura, was she pregnant with his... Yeah, she was pregnant with his child. Wasn't she?
After...
When she was leaving.
Yeah, when she was leaving the place, I believe she was. She had the child after she left the hospital they were both working at, or the soldier camp they were doing.
So do you think that this is the younger child instead of the older child?
It could very possibly be.
You've watched it twice, Kyle.
Yes, I know. I have.
Okay, well, needless to say, that lady filmed her role in only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
good for her.
I need to go back and check that out. So. Mm-hmm.
Watched it the fourth time.
That's why I'm saying it gets very... when you're watching an epic movie like this, if you don't, like even Lawrence of Arabia, if you don't have like a side chart of names and characters and everything as you're watching it, you will be lost.
Well, it's also... this is a movie that probably best served and also in theaters, where it demands your whole attention and you're watching it the whole time being captivated by it. Whereas like watching it in a room or a living room or a bedroom and just kind of like... Even when it's downtime, you kind of glance at your phone real quick.
Oh, look, there's a fly.
Yeah, there's a fly in the world, Yeah,
so
in our ADT generation, it's like, nah.
Now I'm going to have to check that out again, because now I'm kind of... I don't want to say I'm confused,
because now you're asking questions. I'm like, I'm not sure anymore. I doubt everything. Did I even watch this movie? I don't know.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. So, let's see. A 10-acre replica of Moscow was built in Canales, a suburb of Madrid. It included a cobbled 800-yard street with trolley cars, a train viaduct, and a replica of the Kremlin, and 60 shops and houses circling a giant plaza. So, over 4,000 daffodils were imported from the Netherlands and placed on the outskirts of Soria, where Dr. Zhivago's father-in-law's country's estate was. The soundtrack sold more than 600,000 copies during the movie's initial release. So that's
600,000. Wow.
Yeah. It has some good music.
It really does. It is very impressive.
Pasha Antipo's armored train was an accurate replica of trains that were used during World War I and World War II to travel across areas with heavy snow that were inaccessible to trucks or tanks.
It is some of the coolest machinery ever, just kind of watching it just plow through that
snow. That was really cool.
There's great videos online, too, of like even going through big givers and like, this is going through 10 feet of snow, and you just see this like chimney sweep basically just moving through the land. It's great.
Lila Marathi, you know who that was, Kyle? I doubt it.
No.
She was the lady that had the baby in her hand and she was running to get on the train.
Oh, yeah, chasing the train down and threw the baby in.
Even though the baby was already dead.
Yeah, baby was already
dead. But she was seriously injured while shooting the scene, and when she runs beside the train and grabs Omar Sharif's hand to be hauled aboard. Sharif had been instructed to grab and hold on to Marathi's hand. She started panicking, said Ernest Day, who was watching it all through the camera, but he didn't understand her. She was trying to make him let go, and when she did finally wrench her hand away, she stumbled and disappeared out of the viewfinder. Marathi was wearing thick clothes, and she curled up in a ball as she fell, so the train wheels didn't sever her limbs. Her stumble appears in the finished movie.
That's okay. That explains a lot too, because watching that scene, I was horrified that someone just died right there, and that's what I thought the film was trying to do.
That's what I thought was going to happen too.
Yeah. I thought the movie was saying like, oh yeah, she's going to fall into those tracks and die a horrible death, and then finding out it basically kind of did almost happen in real life.
You're right.
Makes a lot more sense because that was kind of gross to watch.
Despite its highly diverse international cast, the movie contains almost no Russian actors or actresses, or even actors or actresses of Russian heritage.
Yeah, what's the Chernobyl drama documentary series?
Yeah,
same thing. They just got a bunch of Russian actors, and they don't even try to do a Russian accent. It was just Chernobyl. It wasn't Chernobyl Diaries.
Adjusted for inflation, this was as of 2010. This is the 8th highest grossing movie of all time.
8th highest grossing movie of all time. That is very impressive. I wonder if it was back in 2010. But in like
I forgot to write it down, Kyle. Find out where this falls in the top 100 movies of all time.
I'm looking at it right now.
I thought it was like, I forget. The charge of the Partisans across the frozen lake was filmed in temperatures over 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. A cast iron sheet was placed over the riverbed and covered with fake snow.
Mm-hmm. Fake snow.
Omar Sharif claimed that he was so close to a breakdown through most of the filming due to stress over playing such a high-profile role and David Lean's demands on him. You said the budget was
$11 million.
Yeah, well, it started at $5 million and it ballooned to $15 million. They said. $15
million. Yeah, I'm kind of building on those kind of movies. Granted, this is now more than 60, almost 60 years ago now. Accountability for like where the budget actually goes. Like $100,000 went here or there. So even like $11 million could be under or over what the actual budget was. If they say $15 million, I believe it. Something was spent somewhere, I'm sure. Looking at the list
after Gone with the Wind, this is the second most profitable movie in MGM's history.
I think I'm trying to look at the top 10 current high school movie of all time now, because that precludes Avatar and Avengers Endgame, which I both think took seats 1 and 2. So that probably moved Zhivago down to either 10 or under 10 now.
What for? What
for highest grossing movie of all time? I'm gonna take a look at that list. Right now, for the top 100 movies of all time,
they said adjusted for inflation, though. You got to remember inflation.
Well, still, adjusted for inflation still counts it. That's what I'm going to look at for the list for adjusted for inflation. For the top 100 movies of all time, Doctor Zhivago sits at number 48.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 5 Oscars, 10 Oscar nominations, and 3 BAFTA nomination awards. BAFTA nominations.
What does BAFTA stand for?
That's a good question.
British and film movie something.
Cool. I believe you. British and film something.
David Lean had heard a piece of Russian music that he felt was perfect for the movie. He wasn't able to secure the copyright, so he asked Maurice Jarre to create a suitable theme. After rejecting all of Jarre's submissions, Lean told him to take off for the weekend, hole up with your girlfriend in a cabin in the mountains, and make love for the entire weekend. Jarre returned from the weekend with Laura's theme. That sweet, sweet music in his ear. Omar Sharif had to have his eyes taped back daily and his hair straightened to disguise his Egyptian looks. He also had his hairline shaved up about 2 to 3 inches and his skin waxed, a process that had to be repeated every 3 days.
3 days? Oh, that's miserable. Nice.
Julie Christie hated having to wear the infamous red dress. David Lean told her that was how he wanted her to play the role. Laura's older lover had bought the dress for her and he was expecting her to wear it. Julie then wore the dress and completed the scene.
Impressive work.
Geraldine Chaplin's first film scene was when her character Tanya reads out a letter to Alexander. Although she pulled off the scene, the camera didn't pick up the fact that she was shaking throughout. Dirk Borgard, Sean Connery, Burt Lancaster, and Max von Sydow were considered for the title role, but they never were actually offered the role, the part, because David Lean had already offered the role to Omar Sharif.
Omar Sharif. Okay.
Many of the Wonder scenes were shot in the summer, with actors and actresses wearing heavy Russian furs and temperatures as high as 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Costume designer Phyllis Dalton had to keep strict watch over the extras to make sure none of them shed layers of clothing to cool off. Omar Sharif later noted, "We had an army of makeup assistants who every 2 minutes came and dabbed you because you were sweating profusely." For the scenes in which Dr. Yuri Zhivago and his family suffered through a torturous train ride to their summer home in the Urals, the company shot in Finland and Canada with full cooperation of the Finnish State Railways and the Canadian Pacific Railway Company.
Looking at the list here, I had to do some actual comparisons because there's no one place that has the top grossing movies of lifetime gross on the list. But it'd be right now, as of 2022, it'd be between 18 and 16 roughly. Might be 17 or actually or it might be 17 or 16 depending on the list. But currently it's sandwiched between Star Wars: The Last Jedi and Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Two
Frozen.
Two abysmal movies right in between.
Because movies have it has a lifetime earnings of about $1.3 billion.
That's crazy.
Over its lifetime earnings. And currently the highest grossing lifetime film is Avatar at $2.88 billion.
Until at least this December when the second one
Avatar
comes
2
out.
comes out. And Avengers Endgame has $2.79 billion in lifetime gross.
What's the next movie that's older than 20 years on there?
Older than 20 years?
In the top...
let me see if I find. So that'd be 2002. Had to be older than 2002. We'll take a look here. I have to keep scrolling. I'm already in the 30s. Okay. So Jurassic Park.
You can't be in the 30s because Zhivago was at 16.
I'm looking at the top 100 right here, Jimbo.
Right, but
Yeah.
I said which one at the top of the list
is older than 20 years. Yeah. So I'm going down the list to 30 and finding Jurassic Park.
But what I'm saying is, if Zhivago's at 16 or 17, you wouldn't have to go down to 30. Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm on the IMDb list. I looked up the top lifetime growings on a separate website for Doctor Zhivago. Dr. Zhivago isn't on this list right now for some reason. I don't know why. Dr. Zhivago's lifetime gross earnings was between about $1.3 billion. So, yes, it would be equivalent to go to 116, but it's not on the IMDb list right here. You asked me what top movie was that was released 20 years ago, so I checked this list, and that is Jurassic Park.
That ain't what I
know
said.
what you're asking. I won't try and do any more
what
than that.
I said was, according to the list, you said Avatar,
Yes.
Avengers Endgame. I said, which is the next movie that would be 20 years older on that list? Because we know Zhivago sits at 16 or 17 to the list you're looking at. Is there anything from Endgame to Zhivago that...
Oh, okay. Endgame Zhivago. Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
All right.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so listen here. And we have Titanic here in 1997. That grosses a lifetime earnings of $2.2 billion.
Okay, there you go. Excellent.
Right.
Excellent,
All
Kyle.
right.
Excellent.
What are you asking me, Jim?
That's exactly what I was asking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the new Lion King is number 8? That's terrible.
The live action one?
The live action one at 1.6. Why? Why did anyone go see that?
So, shooting the winter scenes did not go as planned as this podcast did, and it kind of derailed. Due to the unusual mild weather, instead they were mostly filmed in summer and temperatures as high as 90 degrees, which with marble dust and plastic snow standing in for actual snow.
Oh, it'd be miserable out there. Oh my gosh.
Omar Sharif shaved his head and wore a red wig to play Dr. Yuri Zhivago. Jane Fonda turned down the role of Laura because she didn't want to go to Spain for 9 months. Several weeks later, she changed her mind and told her agent she wanted to do it. But by then, Julie Christie had been signed on to play Laura. In 2014, Fonda said that of all her movies she turned down, this one is the one she regrets the most. Oh. It's always amazing to see what actors and actresses regret.
Mm-hmm. What could have been, or so many deals were always in place. Everything's possible about to happen, but then it just doesn't. And it's crazy.
Dr. Yuri Zhivago's balalakia, I call it the Russian guitar, is never played in the movie.
Huh.
Remember, because his mom,
Yeah.
he's like, well, how'd you learn to play? What? Doesn't he play it at, well, I don't know.
I thought,
if he really,
in the first, the scene right after that, they had, okay.
I don't know if he really plays it, though. Remember, they give it to him, and he starts strumming some notes. They're like, where'd you learn how to play? It's like, I didn't. I don't.
I just do.
But I guess if you're saying...
I'm just cool.
Playing...
Cool kid. Yeah. Technicalities and the notes.
Stupid notes.
Makes these things.
Here's something else. This is probably the last thing. Dr. Zhivago is known, he's a doctor. He's a lot of stuff.
He's a Zhivago?
He's a lot of this stuff, but he's mostly known as a poet in this movie. And his book that Laura carries is important throughout the film, but the film never shares any of his poetry, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. But it is a look at the man and not the man's work itself.
Yeah, but here's something else. Remember when they're in the ice palace? He's sitting at his desk and he's just writing notes and throwing stuff, and you're like, you're in the middle of winter. You're half frozen, and here you are writing.
He succumbed to the poetic madness.
I was like,
he must express himself in these desperate times.
So, Kyle, let's go ahead and tell me what you think about this movie, because there's so much.
Yeah, it's hard to say anything conclusive about the film, because already I'm thinking, like, I have to watch this again now, because I need to know that I have the full depth of this story to some degree. So it is a film that I do enjoy. I think it is an interesting film. There's a lot to be grasped from it and gleaned from it that is very pleasant, even though it is a harsh movie to kind of live in and kind of occupy in my mind, in my headspace, because like so many like tragedies occur nonstop for everyone involved, like the entire people of Russia, and for these individual characters go through so many hardships that it can be difficult to even kind of like watch it and feel comfortable with yourself, or feel hopeful for the entire world. But it does have those moments of hope in the world itself. So it's a film I appreciate. I don't want to watch many more times again in my life, but I do want to watch enough to know that I got a full grasp of it. So it's a movie that I recommend to anyone who considers himself like a serious film buff, who wants to understand, like the artistic value of films. Like is a needed watch at least once or twice. So I recommend it on that perspective. But besides that, it's not a film that I think like an average film enjoyer today would be like, oh yeah, I want to watch Doctor Zhivago. Like, don't. Like if you want to go deep, you can watch this. But if you just want to be an average guy, just enjoying a movie here and there, I wouldn't bother with this one, because it's not, it's commitment in its own way of trying to overcome it all. So I think that's kind of it challenges its audience, I think, and that's a tough thing to kind of be up for watching personally. So that's my overall thoughts, I guess, and that's even kind of a mixed bag of a mess that I just kind of put out there. I know. Yeah. Jimbo, how do you think your overall thoughts are for this film?
Yeah, I think I need to watch it again, at least once. I think it is, if you like movies like Gone with the Wind, Ben-Hur, The Ten Commandments, Lawrence of Arabia, any of those epic movies, then you'll enjoy this film. It's beautifully shot. There's depth to the characters, even deeper than I thought. I'm gonna dumb this down for simple folks like me. When I think of Doctor Zhivago, who I picture is Archie Andrews and Betty and Veronica. Yeah. Okay, the two ladies in his life. Obviously, he's married to his cousin, which I would say would be Veronica in this case. And then there's Betty, who, if you ever read the comics, Archie was always infatuated with Veronica, but everybody knew that Betty was the one he should be with. Yeah. Now, let's take a step back from that. Number one, you're married, dude. Okay? You're married to your cousin. Just because you went off on some hiatus trip to help serve the war and fell in love with another man's wife. Yep. That doesn't make it right. No. If you wanted to do that, then you probably should have just divorced your wife instead of just keep popping out kids. You know what I mean? Because she knew where he was going. Yeah. Especially when they went back to the her father, or we'll call it the Ice Palace, but that little, remember they had it boarded up because they're like, nobody can come in. And he's like, well, the servants' quarters or whatever is still up in the barn or whatever. He's like, oh, this will do just fine. And they had a garden and everything. But he would always like, oh, I got to go to town, or that thing that would take like forever to get to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. There was definitely just a whole sense of like so many of these characters make, the wrong decision and make the wrong choice for reasons that you can say are understandable, if still disagreeable.
Right.
And that is like all the characters in this whole movie.
Right. So it was very,
and just like real life, it's messy.
Why? I guess why did his wife stay with him if she knew? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you never find out what happened to her.
Yeah, and it's like to an extent, like, these are kind of questions you've asked, like, of people you've known in real life to a degree as well. Yeah, I've certainly met people who like, why would you stay with that person if they did this or that thing to you? And there's never a good excuse you ever get. You never get the good reason why.
Right.
And I think this film also offers that same kind of thing where, like, some of these things are kind of unknowable in a way.
Well, I mean, we just watched the ending of that movie again, and you see that, which one's the mistress again, Laura?
Yes, Laura is the mistress. Yes.
That she even went when she went with Kamenetsky or whatever, which was the guy she's been having an affair with from her mom.
Kamenetsky like straight up raped her at one point. Like one of those things
but yet he still is trying to be the father figure and take care of her. But then you see this lady or this girl at the end, and she's like, my father let go of my hand when I was 8 years old in the middle of the street. So even after all that, she still thinks that guy is her father, and this is where he's like, no, this is your father. So he's basically inserted himself back into the life. So it's so deep, and there's so many. It's like an onion, man. You start peeling that thing, and there's so many layers. And once you think you got the onion clean, and then you like peel back another layer, and you're like, wow. Then you can keep going. Pretty soon you won't have an onion left. But I'm just saying, this is a very interesting movie, and I think it's well deserved to watch for anybody that likes movies. I think there's a lot to grasp from it. Is it historically accurate? I do not know, because I didn't dive into the Bolshevik Revolution, you know what I mean? World War I, World War II. But it is a very interesting movie, and I highly recommend somebody to sit through it at least once. Mm-hmm. Because if you sit through it once, and then you start thinking about it, you're going to want to sit through it again and see, what did I miss? Because that's where I'm at right now, because I don't think I put 2 and 2 together. 2 and 2 didn't equal 4. It equed like 6 for me. So I don't know where I went wrong in this movie. I paid real close attention and took notes, so I don't really know where I sidetracked or stepped away from. And maybe, who knows, maybe there's some deleted scenes or some documentaries that I could watch on the movie that I didn't watch yet.
Or the real life history itself.
Well, that's it. But I'm just saying the documentary of the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to read the book. Maybe the book will go into more detail like I did with Bram Stoker. By the way, I did finish Bram Stoker's Dracula this week.
You enjoyed it?
Oh, it was great.
Excellent.
Fantastic. The ending was kind of anticlimactic, but it is what it is.
I understand that. From what you're
so I would say definitely give this movie a watch, because I'd like to know what people's thoughts are on this movie, because it's an epic movie, and I think it deserves exactly where it needs to be in the top 100 movies, right around 48, 50, I would say.
I would say, like, of the movies you covered, like Ben-Hur, Lawrence of Arabia, this is probably the toughest commitment, though, I'd ask of any of the fans to actually watch it all.
Right.
Like Lawrence of Arabia, like, that's a cinematic masterpiece of, like, visual mastery, and, like, it amazes you just watching it, and you don't feel, like, the same way. Or, like, Ben-Hur, same thing, like, so many religious, like, iconography and other cool things. So, like, it is amazing just to watch those films, and, like, you feel astonished by what they created. Doctor Zhivago challenges you in a dark way that, like, paints the world really ugly in some cases, and, like, it's tough to sit through 3 hours of that.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and I think the thing about this movie that separates those other movies, especially Lawrence of Arabia and Ben-Hur, even Gone with the Wind, is this is a struggle of one man, and the circumstances surrounding his life. I think that's what this boils down to, the battle that the man has. So,
and the harsh history of the world that he was living in right there, the incredible, everything going on around him and how he gets through it, that's just, it is like focus on one man, but one man in a turbulent time in history.
Right. Well, Kyle, I think we've talked about this movie long enough. Maybe if we discover some more stuff, we can talk about it on a real talk. If we go back through it and watch it, maybe point some stuff out that we didn't say here. or if we made the connection, we can let them know on Real Talk. So. If you'd like to follow us on social medias, we are the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. Join us on Facebook group. We have a lot of fun times on there. Kyle?
The TikTok's going any day now. Don't worry. You don't need to remind me every 6 weeks. It's fine.
Kyle will have a TikTok at some point. I'm sure of it. Nah, I'm
watching more TikToks now.
I'm really starting to doubt his ability.
His ability to make a TikTok and actually follow through.
That's what you get for trusting millennials as co-hosts.
Exactly. There's an unreliable generation, as they say.
Well, I think this episode's coming to a close, Kyle, so if you want to grab the old clapboard over there.
That's right. We'll do the thing.
So this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap, Kyle.
And cut.